It's quiet where I'm sitting. I have this beautiful point of view. I mean, you can't beat the seaside, the vitamin C, D, E, F, G. Golly gosh, life is grand. How are you today? Hi, Carla. So I've got Buddy over here. He's panting because he's a dog, and he's a good dog. And it's beautiful. It's really hot here today. Hi, Amanda. Hi there, hon. It's like I'm going to get my sweat on today. So I'm taking this nice walk with Buddy and just enjoying my life and being grateful for what is and just being in the flow, allowing myself to flow with my soul, to let it to guide me, to align with the flow of my soul and allow it to make me whole. And so, yeah, it's really nice. There's a beautiful breeze. It's calm upon the water. The breeze isn't like it was yesterday, so hopefully you're not going to get a lot of background wind. And it's a blissful day. It just is. I got up early and I went to my yoga studio where every Tuesday and Saturday morning there's sadhana. And sadhana is the devotional practice where you wake up and we chant the Japji, which is a poem written by Guru Nanak. And we do some Kriya, some Kundalini Yoga. And then we chant some mantra, the Aquarian Age mantras that were prescribed by Yogi Bhajan. Sometimes it changes up depending on maybe some guru's birthday and we chant a particular mantra that is powerful and related to the guru that's birthday. And so today's theme that dropped in for me, was all about surrender and committing to my soul self. And I wonder, how does that resonate with all of y'all? Surrender is not an easy thing now, is it? What does surrender sound like when you hear it? Where do you feel it in your body? I mean, like, because we do. Our body reacts to the way that our mind responds if it's triggered. Is surrender something that sounds like, I'm giving up, I'm giving in, I'm just letting go and I have no control, like as if we ever had control? But I can tell you the connotation that used to come up for me with surrender was, I'm just not going to do anything. It's almost like giving up. But there's such a difference between giving up and giving in, right? And trusting your inner guidance system, trusting your intuition. Into me, I see. The intimacy is the relationship to self. Whether or not you have cultivated it, whether or not you're attuned to it and see it and feel it and touch it and taste it. Remember the senses, the 5 senses. The senses make up the whole. So to have that true intimate connection, that into me, I see, the intimacy, is to engage in everything fully. And the surrender still encompasses all of that. The surrender is not giving up and just washing your hands and just becoming the martyr, like life is going to be okay, I can't, I just give up. But quite often that's a connotation that comes with the word surrender. I can relate to that. I remember thinking, I can't get it. I'm never going to surrender. I'm never going to give up. But it's a commitment. It's a commitment to trust and having faith in something you can't taste, you can't touch, you can't see it, but you can sense it without the physical human senses. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it isn't possible. What you can believe is what you can achieve. How strong is your belief system? How strong is your faith? How committed are you to you? The big Y-O-U, not the little you. The little you is the hurt you. The little you is the anything but the authentic you. It's the actor in this play if you watched my Monday night journal Hook 'em in the group last night, Ridiculously Authentic, we have to recognize when we're authentic and inauthentic. And it first starts with ourselves, because we don't lie to others without lying to ourselves first. A lie, as my friend Gary would say, there is no such thing as an inconsequential lie, meaning there's a repercussion with it. There's more that ends up being carried on and like baggage. We create more drama in our play of our little YOU when we are inauthentic, when we are not living in our truth, when we are not committed to our highest soul self. The first lie that's ever told is usually to ourselves, not to others. And so the key in recognizing is where am I coming from? Am I coming from here? This is where all of our coping mechanisms and our survival tactics have come from, is from our ego mind trying to protect us, trying to take care of us and make sure no harm comes to us ever again in whatever form that may be, fight or flight. It is real for us. When our mind is so fixated on the protection mode, right? Always in defense, ready to defend and attack or whatever. When we're in that constant fight or flight, which is stressful on our adrenals, stressful on our physical body, taxing, exhausting, we're not living in flow. We're living out of the animal instinct, right? You've heard that. And so the pure, recognize purity, right? And we have to come back to the pure inner child that knows and recognizes the truth of the matter and knows that, hey, I came here to play and have fun. That's authentic to me. I don't need to put on the mask. I don't need to put on a facade, and I don't have to be anything more than what I came here to be. But what is that? For many of us, we're trying to figure out, what's my purpose? The only way to find our purpose is to live on purpose, is to surrender to the fact that you don't have to have all the answers and commit to just blindly moving forward, right? Blind faith isn't bad faith, but it will carry you if you are devoted enough and committed enough to trusting it. What is it in your gut that you feel? It took me years to even recognize, oh my gosh, I already knew the answers. And here I am now having to go backtrack, and I don't live in regret any longer, but there were many a time when I wished I hadn't done something because, I wish I trusted my instinct. My gut was telling me something all along. Our gut is our emotional center, our stomach. I grew up with stomach problems, with digestive issues. I held a lot of emotion back. I didn't express myself when necessary. I've had to feel more of that as an adult in order to heal it and release it. And every once in a while, like this past week, it has to come up so that I can confront it and I can face it head on and question, is this really true? Is this even who I am? Because ultimately, I can get caught up in my own trauma. How about you? Do you ever have that happen? Where you recognize, oh my gosh, I'm recreating a story here. Or do you even recognize that? Because I know I didn't all my life. To see my patterns wasn't as obvious to me as it was for other people to see. I can look back now and I see those patterns, but now it's impersonal because I'm no longer in that same space. I have more compassion for myself back then because I notice, wow, that was a survival tactic. That was a coping mechanism. It's what I learned. I learned it from my upbringing. I learned it from my parents. I took on other people's stories. What I was exposed to became what I was living. I was carrying forth the legacy. And I didn't even know what my own personal story was until I knew it. And I'm still even learning. I'm learning to surrender more, commit more, and just trust and have faith that I don't have to have all the answers. When we think we have to have all the answers, we're just fooling ourselves. And we're guilting and shaming ourselves, right? Shame is not something we do to ourselves. We allow others to shame us. Guilt is something we do to ourselves because we hold on to feeling ashamed or feeling we needed to do things differently. It's hot. Did I mention it's hot? What is it in your life that you feel like you could surrender and stop trying to control so much? For me, it's come to my attention over this time that I don't need to try to project and guess what my future is, because too often that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to know that the path was laid out and I could figure it out, that the vision I hold would have to look a certain way. What it would feel like, I don't know. Now I'm finding that if I feel good, that's all that matters. If I can smile, if I can look in the mirror, if I can breathe and say, wow, look at this beautiful life. That's what I want to commit to, is moments. Those beautiful moments, and surrender to those. That's my realization. That's my today's theme. That is what is resonating in every cell of my being, is surrendering to this moment right here. To feel the sun on my face, the wind, to hear the sounds of cars passing by, to witness the beauty of nature, to listen to the birds, to watch them pass me by, the blue jay that crossed my path as I was walking, to Buddy and appreciating how he has to sniff and mark his territory all along the way. Just imagine, what would it be like to be a dog? They're so unconditional. They just love you. They're just happy to be with you. And then just appreciating how they go through life without really any cares as much as just checking things out. Of course, they have the cares of sleep and eating and whatever other nature imposed stuff, right? Whatever needs to happen. But they don't hold on to a list of things that they feel they need to accomplish in this life, or a purpose that they have to have, or hold on to when you don't show up home because you said you would be home at a certain hour, or that you didn't feed them at the right time, or that you didn't take them for a walk at the right. They're just happy when you do it. They're not up in your face going, "Hey, I thought you were going to take me. I thought you were going to do," They are just happy in the moment. And we can learn so much from them, just following suit, just being in the moment. So if I were to share and impart anything upon you, I would like to say, just be grateful for this moment, surrender in the moment, commit to the surrender. Just be. And how does that look for you? The other thing that I would also say too, that is really beautiful when we make a conscious effort and choice. Maybe we have to do something we dislike or we want to avoid, but we know we have to do it. So we're doing it begrudgingly. We're doing it with resistance. Something I know for myself, I've had to learn. If I'm going to do anything, I want to do it from my heart. Hi, Winona. I want to do it in such a way that it's an expression of love to the nth degree. So when I do anything, I try to remind myself and check in, commit and surrender to no outcome, no attachment to how it's going to look or be received if I'm doing it for another, but just be in gratitude in that moment when I'm able to do and be. And just be really fully as much possible present, because that's a gift, throughout the whole process of whatever it is you're doing. Because it's too easy to get caught up in the mind, and I catch myself all the time because I have a very overactive mind, to where when I am doing anything, I have to check myself and go, whoa, where was I just now? I cut my thumb last week. I believe it was really deep. It doesn't look it so much now because it seems to have healed rather quickly. Whenever I have caught myself in a moment where I either cut myself, injure myself, bang a toe, stub a toe, whenever that has happened in my life, what I have learned is that it was usually when I was not present in what I was doing in the moment and my mind was elsewhere. Now, if your mind is taking you outside of the moment, how can you be conscious and present? Because now you've attached to something outside of yourself, which the mind tends to do, and evaluate the thoughts. So at the time, I can't tell you what I was thinking of, but I guarantee it wasn't something that was a kindness. And the kindness, or the unkindness in that case, when I injure myself, can often show up as me thinking about somebody and how maybe I don't agree, or maybe I'm judging, or I'm comparing myself. Whenever you're judging or comparing yourself to another person, that's actually unkind. It's considered, as in the teachings that I was reading last night, it's basically a violence. We don't say the word violent or violence in those cases when we're judging harshly or comparing ourselves, but anytime you're looking at something it doesn't resonate, it doesn't have anything to do with your moment, it's not present, it's not pertinent, it's not relevant, right? The question has to be, is it kind? Is it necessary? Does it serve? Because if you're trying to do one thing, but you're over here in their mind somewhere else doing something else and comparing, it could be negative thoughts about yourself. You could be judging yourself and you cut yourself, or you stub your toe, or you have an accident. How many of us have had accidents? I'm not just talking about car accidents, I'm talking about any type of accident. And you have to check yourself and go, where was I in that moment? Now there is, of course, the occasional, you're with somebody else, you didn't have control over whatever, but it is a moment to check yourself and figure out where you were. I started recognizing this years ago when I was cutting myself, and I went, wow, I was just at that moment, I caught myself thinking about how I thought about this one person and how I didn't necessarily understand why she would do something because I could never see myself doing it, but I was like, well, all power to her, but I know I could never do that. It wasn't a harsh judgment, but it was still a judgment. It was still, it was unnecessary. And I cut myself. Then I went and took a shower that same night, and I caught myself 2 more times where I go, oh my gosh, I just scratched with my loofah and took off skin on the side of my ankle or something, or my knuckle. And I thought, oh my gosh, there I am again. I injured myself. I'm starting to see the correlation between my mind going off in another tangent, comparing and judging someone else, and me doing physical harm to my own physical body. See, the body responds to the mind. If you're not present in the mind, in the body, in the moment, and it takes you out, the only thing that's going to happen is it's going to cause some infliction. So that was a revelation for me. And I started to go, oh, I have to check myself more often now. And I had to surrender to the fact that maybe my mind was much harsher than I realized. And so now I surrender and I commit as much as I possibly can to the mindfulness and the awareness of where was my thought just then, and am I coming from my heart or coming from my head? The ego is a tricky thing, right? Can any of you relate to this? Have you ever experienced such a thing? So I just thought I'd stop in and say hi. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Many of us want to know what is our purpose in life, but maybe it's not something we have to over-fixate on. I know I have in my life. Over-fixating on my purpose takes me out of my present, my gift. And that if I'm just living on purpose, right? The key to finding your purpose is living in purpose, on purpose. That the more I'm present, the more I'm enjoying what I have at my disposal in this moment, just walking and feeling the air and just listening to the sounds and breathing in this fresh, salty water, air. The more of this beauty will actually appear in my life. The more grateful and the more I appreciate the here and now, everything builds up from that point. That moment to moment creates momentum. This is why I love words, because it's so simple, it's silly. It's so obvious, but unclear. That our minds feel like we need to be overthinking it when it's simple, right? Have you ever heard me say, gotta do things smarter, do them less harder, right? You gotta give up the fight and shine your light. So, hey honey. My girlfriend's jogging down the path. That's awesome. See, this is the beauty. I'm probably gonna run into her on her way back because she just lives up the street and I ran into her the other day. And so here I am appreciating the fact that I'm out here to begin with. And then I'm going to get to run into one of my goddess girlfriends. Isn't that in itself a blessing? That here I am able to do that. I feel like everything is a gift in this moment right here. Yes, intentional living, not giving up, but surrendering and going through it with intention, on purpose, right? Thank you, Carla. It's so true. It's set the intention in the morning, wake up and say, this is going to be a glorious day. Smile at your partner, your animals, your children. Brighten their life by brightening yours first. Give in to you, right? Give in so you are able to give out. You know, because what you give into yourself is what you give out. That's what I was writing was that this morning or last night? I know I came up with it last night. I think I posted it earlier. So, it's a beautiful day. It really is. I feel exceptionally blessed just to live in the Sunshine State. I am so getting a tan today. I mean, you're probably all like, oh, what are you talking about? You already have a tan. I get that a lot. But I haven't had. Last year, I neglected my tanning day. You know, I didn't go to the beach as often as I should have. I know I did go live a lot last summer on the beach when I could, but this year, hopefully I get to take you along a little bit more. Those are always fun. And I'll probably do a little bit more moving vlogging in the future, not just sitting here, but maybe I'll take you around and I'll show you what I'm working on. I know this year I'm going to be decluttering like crazy. Things are moving around in the house and I love it. I have a ninja who is there for me and helping me in ways that, you know what? That's what I'm surrendering to having a true man in my life and allowing him to show up as he is without any preconceived idea of how that should look. And I am serving as I am and showing up as I am and allowing him in his personal growth and he in mine, or me and mine. And I personally feel that when you show up just as you are, pure in your intentions, it's the best you can do. And not try to make it something else. Because if you're not grateful for what you have, only going to draw to you what it is you don't want, right? Where attention goes, energy flows. That'll never get old saying that, because I've experienced it enough in my life, right? So it's only Tuesday. How crazy is that? Do you know tomorrow's Valentine's Day? We're going to be announcing somebody's a blender winner. We've got a Rad Ninja giveaway tomorrow. Have you all entered? You got to go make sure you check out the video we did on Sunday when I made my Bliss chocolates and those amazing raw energy bites. I'm telling you right now, they're pretty much gone. I'm going to have to make more because they're so damn yummy. Sorry. Darn. So yeah, I am going to finish my walk with Buddy Love over here, who has dug a nice little warm hole in the sand and the dirt. He's so funny. He just has the biggest doggy smile. He's my little buddy, my buddy walking partner, right? Yeah. Let me know. If you want to see more videos like this, please let me know. If you have anything in particular that you'd like me to speak about, please let me know. I'd love to serve in that capacity as well. If you have any questions for me directly, I like doing these videos, and I really appreciate all of your feedback. I love each and every one of you. I'm grateful that I can actually show up for myself, because then I can show up for whoever else needs me. So I love you. I think I'm going to start moving my body again. Ah. I know the sun got really, really bright over here. So have an amazing day. Commit to surrendering to your soulful self. Align with your soul and allow it to make you whole. There's only one of you. You be you, because I love you.